Habble, babble, toil and pearls. Watch out, friends, it's a scandal, girls. And the most spooky candle you can imagine. Unicorn dreams. Hello, beautifuls. Welcome back to my spooky Chanel. You may see I am rather dark and mysterious at the moment. All will be revealed shortly. Spooky! It's so stupid, oh my god. So, my pretties, welcome to an extra special and extra spooky episode of What on Earth Was the Middle 2000s, my loves. Today, we are going to be watching... Oh, can you guess? Can you guess? You've probably seen the title already, so it's not really a shock, is it? Most Haunted, my loves, Most Haunted. Today, we are going to be watching as the start of spooky season here on this Chanel. Today, we're going to be watching the highest rated episode ever of Most Haunted. Now, if you don't know what Most Haunted was, it is a very specific brand of absolutely bonkers paranormal investigation show that I think loads of us will actually remember and probably actually quite enjoy. I know that when I was young, my mum used to put it on televisione and we would sit down and we would be utterly spooked together, girls. Derek Acora and Yvette Fielding could never, girls. They could never. It was actually quite scary in some places. I mean, if you want the ultimate experience of every single season in one episode, just watch the Welsh Twins and their glorious parody recently of Most Haunted. So, my lovelies, shall we just get into it today? Shall we get into it today? I am in some sort of like spooky skull situation. I don't quite know if it's worked or not. What do you guys think? This is not going to be what I'm going as Halloween, but I would love to know in the comments what you are going as. I think I'm gonna go as Cruella, but like Cruella 2021. Ooh, spooky. So this episode of Most Haunted is actually season 3, episode 3, and it is the
Edinburgh Vaults, girl.
Edinburgh Vaults. What's more terrifying than Edinburgh? Maybe this candle made of unicorn dreams. Or maybe I'm having a breakdown. It's not a spooky breakdown unless it's from the spooky region of France. Here we go. All right, let's watch Most Haunted. Scary girls. Come on, Yvette. Tell me what you see.
In the Edinburgh Vaults. Did you hear it?
Oh, spooky girls! I do not think I can actually put in the intro music. I think it might be copyrighted. So this is just like, spooky, spooky, we're going on a spook. Oh my god, there's a spooky ghost. There's a spooky and a spooky man underground inside the spooky ghosts. There we go. Did you like that song? That was great, wasn't it? Most Haunted, everybody. Now, I'm famous and frightened live. When was this? Living TV. Gosh, back in the vaults of Televisione.
Hello and welcome.
Spooky! Oh, she's been at the meth. Oh dear.
Beneath my feet lay a set of vaults that have never fully been investigated.
Never fully, until this moment. Oh, screaming women. Oh, an electric shock, a rat and a baby. Oh.
With dark phantoms, strange voices and ghostly apparitions, we just had to bring you to the Edinburgh Vaults.
Oh, in case you forgot when she just said it.
In 1785, a bridge was built supported by 19 huge stone arches.
And the bridge is haunted!
Today we're going to investigate the ghost of the bridge.
The foundations were divided into a set of vaults, each on either end of the bridge. They were used to house immigrants and their families from the Highlands. Tradesmen lived in these squalid...
Immigrants in 1775? The idea that back in the day they'd just be like, oh my goodness, immigrants are coming to Edinburgh. Do you know what we need to do? Put them in the vaults of this bridge. People of the past were unhinged.
Conditions and conducted their businesses down below. Shops and taverns thrived in this strange subterranean world. It wasn't until 1980 that the set of vaults were discovered, and it soon came to light that these poor people had lived in the most appalling conditions. As with any town, tragedies and murder occurred, and in these vaults the most horrific crimes were committed.
Oh my goodness, gout! Tell me, Yvette! Tell me the crimes!
Along with the workshops and warehousing, of course, that was down here, people started to live, and a whole community...
We must listen to this historian in a fleece.
If you like, of Edinburgh's low life.
Did he forget where we are?
Down under the ground here. Sometimes living and dying down below here without ever actually going up to the street level.
No!
We're talking of thieves, pimps, prostitutes and burglars, all living down below in this
goodness, sounds like a right party.
Under the ground.
The vaults that we're in at the moment
Slimelight could never.
are on one side
we're
of
gonna have a
the
seance.
south bridge. just off
Come on,
a street
Francis.
called Nidri Street South, and these were all closed up in about 1815, 1820 because of the water coming through. You'll see there's quite a lot of damp and there's stalactites and such like.
Ooh!
And this set of vaults have had some fairly extreme experiences. Not as many as the other side, but the ones that have been experienced here have been more violent, I think, or more extreme.
Not the candelabra, girls. Scandelabra!
This main
I haven't said
corridor
that in a while.
entrance has seen some strange sightings.
Yes,
Dark
your hairstyle.
shapes and ghostly mists have all been experienced here, along with the feelings of being watched.
We've had figures being seen, we've had people feeling somebody breathing on their necks, we've had voices whispering in people's ears.
I've got gout.
We've had customers having their clothes tugged. We've had all
Get
sorts
naked.
of things, the whole range of paranormal experiences, it would seem.
It's Trini and Susanna. They're like,
Put on this say something belt!
There's quite a few famous people connected with these vaults,
The
like
Queen?
Burke and Hare, the famous body snatchers. In the 18th century, bodies were at a premium. Doctors would pay anything up to 12 guineas for a fresh
guinea fowl!
body for the purpose of dissection. These men, Burke and Hare, used to steal bodies and also murder people. They preyed on the prostitutes, the lowlife that lived
not
down
the
here.
sex workers.
Most of the cells
spooky.
used to house families. This particular cell
woman.
is home to a dark figure that sits in the corner
Is it your shadow?
and watches visitors.
Ooh.
In
Sounds like an OnlyFans account.
1742, a surgeon that was notorious for receiving bodies lived very close to these vaults. His house was raided by the mob.
The
They
mob?
actually found a fresh body lying in his cellar,
body?
waiting to be dissected.
Oh.
He was also arrested, but being a prominent surgeon in the town, actually got off with his life. This dark figure that's been seen frequenting these vaults on many occasions.
Oh, this is
We haven't
spooky,
got a name
girls.
for him yet. Who knows?
His
He
name
could
was
well be one of
Karen.
those unfortunate people.
He liked to
who were
wear a
smothered,
wig.
taken away,
Smothered.
dissected.
Gasp.
People have felt an icy cold hand on their face whilst walking down this corridor. It said it could be the ghost of a woman that was murdered here. Is she just looking for a friend?
With there being
Hello, be my friend. Oh, that's really spooky, isn't it? I do quite like the fact that just Yvette is just like sauntering about in the boudoir, just like, and then a cold wind happened and she's just after a friend. There's a moth in my house now. Am I going to be haunted by the ghost of a moth?
an entire community living under the ground. There would obviously be alehouses, taverns, pubs, brothels.
All
And in
underground? How big was
1822,
this bridge?
In a tavern that was situated under the ground here.
A tavern.
The landlady, Mary McKinnon, was
Mary.
trying to expel some ruffians that had been rather
Expelliarmus.
unruly in the place. And she came out brandishing a
Unruly
huge
ruffians.
kitchen knife and started prodding people.
And stabbed them. Oh my
Everyone
God.
round, but unfortunately, one
Bridoplasty stab!
of them tripped over and fell onto a knife. And she stabbed this poor man to death. He wasn't a ruffian, in fact, he was a city clerk. She was
What was he
tried
doing underground in
and
this tavern?
sentenced and hanged for murder on
Hanged.
April the 16th, 1822.
Oh my God. Well, that's definitely quite spooky, isn't it? She was chasing someone with a knife, being like, "Get out my pub, girls, get out!" And then he fell onto her knife accidentally, and then she accidentally stabbed him, like 19 times to death, supposedly, and then was hanged for it. I tell you, sis, when I tell you, there are some secrets and dark, mysterious places in Britain and England and Scotland and Wales and Ireland. Ooh.
I feel. What sort of things have been felt here and seen here?
Well, there's numerous occurrences all over the location.
Oh, you look very 2000s.
Strange figures have been
Feel.
seen, unidentifiable mists, noises. That's one of
Unidentifiable mists. I think that's an identified mist.
the main things you hear, footsteps.
Apart from footsteps, what else I heard?
Well, apparently there's been a voice heard saying, "Get out." That's heard on
Get
quite
out!
a regular basis.
Maybe they're saying,
a
"I've
few
got
people have
gas."
actually left the building because of that.
Earlier on, when we were setting up to have our chat, we had very high readings, didn't we?
That was strange. We used the EMF meter just before we started this
EMF.
interview, and it was going off the
Electro-mummy.
scale. But apparently this archway is solid stone. There is no cabling, electricity supply, running through this part of the location, so I can't really understand.
So how are we
why they were
watching you
getting
then?
that
Scandal! Oh, there's a ghost in your wig, Yvette! Oh, that is quite scary.
Holy crap.
reading. The reading before, anything between
Her
2 and 8
Saturn is haunted.
could be significant of paranormal activity.
It's all round here. Phil?
6, yeah.
Oh.
This is all 5 along here.
Goodness me. Well, I do have to confess something, my loves. I am a skeptic when it comes to these sorts of like ghost hunting and paranormal situations. I went to a ghost hunting evening. It was gifted to me, and we Rolly and I went, and we got to see the replica of Annabelle doll. They had like an underground seance. It was at where was it? It was at the like stonemasons headquarters in London. It was like discovered like about 100 years ago or something. And we went to this ghost evening, and this guy who was a ghost hunter stood up and went, "Conventional medicine could not help me with my mental problems, so I turned to ghost hunting." And at this point I was like, oh my goodness, like, really? You're saying that you're coming off of antipsychotics because of ghost hunting? And then a lady in the audience stood up and went, I don't think you should be advising people to stop taking their antipsychotics and chase ghosts. And that was for me when I was like, yes, I'm definitely a skeptic, absolutely. But I do believe that people, when they say they've had like a paranormal experience, I do believe that they've had a paranormal experience. I think, you know, maybe they've had something very inexplicable happen to them. But I am very skeptic, and I do always think that there is a logical explanation. And sometimes the logical explanation is, you hallucinated, sis. And that's also absolutely fine to just be like, I hallucinated and I was visited by this dream world and it was a goat girl. Like, completely understand.
All along here. And it keeps going and it drops to 2 the further you go back in that one.
Wow. Buttock. Oh. Indoor abseiling. No? Oh, a haunted cupboard.
So there must be some power cables or something running through the structure.
What is
I wonder
this?
if it's just
Is
the power
that
cables
big?
for stuff
Yeah.
down.
Oh.
The other places that we've been, we've never had any readings like this to do with power cables.
No, because we've been in places where we've had power cables before.
Yeah, which is why I'm a bit
she
confused
sounds
as to why
annoyed.
these seem to be so strong down here.
What we should do is ask Fran if they've ever had such
Come on. Where's
powerful,
Franny?
readings down here.
All there is the electric light system that you can see in here.
I mean, there is also you and
There's a road directly above you. That's pavement, that's the road.
I mean, we are filming you though, so.
Anything else, it could be.
Could be street lighting.
What the team seems to be experiencing here are a number of very high, very unusual EMF recordings.
Hello,
Now, there
Dr.
could be a
Matthew
number
Smith.
of possible sources of those kinds of unusual frequencies. For example, there could be a utility cable going overhead because they're not actually that far beneath the street. And it's always very difficult to actually identify the source of those kinds of frequencies.
Yes.
But what we do know is that when people are exposed to these kinds of unusual frequencies, then sometimes for some people, they can actually experience unusual sensations
Yes.
as though they're experiencing the presence of perhaps a ghost.
Well, yes, exactly. So I actually agree with this. So I sort of feel like, you know, if you're like, they're literally underground in a very old stone place. It's probably cold. It's probably damp. You know, they've only got their little lights around them. It's probably, beyond those lights, it's probably like pitch black darkness. And I feel like a lot of like the experiences of these sorts of things happen in a very like intense environment. So it's like, it's almost like not necessarily a placebo effect, but like that kind of idea where your environment really influences like your like awareness and your anxiety and like, oh, is that something? Because you're in the dark, you can't see. Like, it's all very mysterious. It's very unlikely you'll see a ghost in like Primark at noon shopping on a Saturday and be like,
I've got a bargain!
like, you wouldn't really see that. I don't like, has anybody had that experience? I don't think.
In this kind of setting, they might interpret it as being a ghost. Also, sometimes people will feel as though they see something out the corner of their eye, only to
Hallucinations.
turn to look at what's there and find it disappears.
Gone.
Now again, in a location in which you're told is haunted, you'll interpret that as being the figure of somebody who's passed away, and
Yeah.
maybe the person who actually haunts that area. But it could simply be a result of being exposed to these unusual frequencies.
But didn't he just say it could be the
The
person
set
who's
of
haunting
vaults
that
where
area?
we are now in Nidri Street South have not been investigated before. We think there are strange things that go on. We have an inkling that there are experiences to be had, but we've never had a full-scale overnight investigation in this set
spooky.
of vaults, so very excited about it.
Oh, yay.
I've got lots of names
Come on, Fran. Names?
of rather famous people and some events
Boris
that actually
Johnson.
took place concerned with these very vaults that I'm hoping may well come up later.
Oh, what's this mysterious
Whenever our
cloud?
medium, Derek Akora, arrives at a supposed haunted location, things seem to happen. We were all excited and eager to begin our investigation
Is it
with
because he
Derek
might be
in the
faking it?
South Nidri Street Vaults.
Okay, right. All right. Everybody shush. Derek's here.
This section here, into this room.
Oh, I like your highlighter.
Just use the word room for the moment. I get this like shouting and boisterousness and the fragrance, without a doubt, of ale. And, you know, ooh, really, really strong, and people sitting round and you know, just being absolutely, some people falling over.
That's
and what have you.
interesting.
And I'm getting as if...
Because in 1776, they didn't have extremely strong ales. The only reason why we now have extremely strong alcohol is because of modern industrialization. In 1775, one of the strongest things you might get in Edinburgh at that time would probably be something like mead, which is a very sweet honey wine, which is about 10 to 14% alcohol most of the time. So that's interesting that he's like, very strong ales, because... the ability to process alcohol back then was nowhere near as what it is today. So all of the processing for alcohol would have been done by bacterial fermentation. And bacterial fermentation was very, very difficult to get to be really, really, really strong, because they just end up dying before they get to that point. Derek, your evening chiffon is showing.
There's a pitched feeling of anger that's been displayed in this area. And I'm getting
upset you've
this,
stole my
like,
guinea.
now at the moment, this woman whose atmosphere and energy seems to be up and down here. And she seems
Furious
to be
lady.
Quite a strong, sturdy woman, sturdy of mind as well. I look like as if I'm seeing people sitting and they're being served ale. It's like
You don't do all this back in 1776. What are you doing, silly? No electricity, sis.
I suppose an inn or something where ale was being served, and she was a real strong. She was the runner of this place.
But we were just told the history about this place was the woman in the tavern that like accidentally stabbed someone to death and then was hanged. Like, is there any reason that we should believe Derek if he's like, he's in this room and he's like, oh, there was a woman, a strong woman, and she's very sound of mind and very sound and she's gonna stab someone. Like, if he says the whole story again, but this time we're hearing it from a spiritual medium, it just kind of made me go like, but you could have just read that. Like, we've been told this already by production, so I am a little bit questionable of that. Like, unless he's, I don't know. It's just, I'm very like, are you trying to scam me? That's kind of how I feel. But everybody shush, it's spooky, isn't it? Oh, spook.
Strong, that she would have got hold of physically a man, okay? And, you know, she'd have no problems with, you know, evicting, okay? Getting rid of.
Well, what you're actually saying is correct. There was, and I think Richard and Phil can back me up here, there was actually a tavern here.
Okay, she killed him?
She killed him?
I don't know. I feel as if anger, as if maybe being stabbed or something here.
Can you give me a name for this woman?
Not at the moment.
What's this? Tavern stabbing. Mary McKinnon, a publican, was executed on the 16th of April, 1822. Can you imagine? There's even the fact that there is even a 16th of April, 1822. Like, what would that be? Great-grandparents doing on the 16th of April, 1822. 1822. Like, what? For stabbing and killing a customer. Oops-a-daisy. Ooh.
Because I'm just picking up the residual. There's also, around that same time, I feel there was a small boy. A small boy.
A child.
I'm not saying he lost his life, but there was a lot of anger pitched towards this young boy. He was around this female landlady or what have you a lot. And I feel that the fight that broke out, okay, had something over the young boy. He was hit. And she saw this. She just went absolutely crazy, and you know, she definitely took his life.
Is she in visitation or is she grounded here?
I feel that she walks these passages. She walks these passages.
Do you want to go anywhere else here?
Yes.
I'd like to go get a Starbucks, actually.
You see, it's not just this woman that comes up and down this passageways.
I just think he's a very well-paid actor
energy.
sometimes.
Also, comes along these passageways here. Is vented anger, and I use that word words very carefully. Vented anger. I would say he's quite cowardly, even though he's of spirit now. He's quite cowardly in the sense that he'd come up and down here. I feel he would have had very, very strong links with that fracas, what happened, you know, with the death of this man. He was one of the nasty ones who didn't lose his life.
Oh my goodness.
But he was a party to it.
He was party to it.
Right.
And he's nasty and he's obscene. But there's something that's been...
I'm pretty sure everyone in 1775 would have been, like, absolutely obscene. No, wait, when is this? This was, like, they said 1775, but now they were talking about, like, 1822. So maybe, like, around, like, 1810 or whenever this would have happened. 1820. I don't know. I can't remember the dates. Wouldn't, like, I can't imagine, like, everyone being obscene. Like, it was almost, like, lawless, if you think about it. If there wasn't a policeman in the vicinity, anything could go. Do you know what I mean? There was no way of, like, contacting anyone. Oh, spooky.
Oh, I know where it is now as I go. The energy's taking me this way.
Right.
Oh, is it? Oh, what? That's convenient. The camera's not in the way. Oh, spooky. Daytime tweed!
Also, in this area here, would have a... The only way I can put it, or the energy states that
R2D2.
people, the only way I can put it at the moment is that people were not very nice in a group that
naughty
used to
people
be here. Now, I can't say whether this was a family or whether it was just a group of like-minded people, but I feel there were some form of practices, okay?
Witchcraft.
At some time here, and it's connected, would you believe it, with downstairs or the stairwell. So if we can
Witches of the
walk
stairwell.
again, I might be able then to connect the two energies together, okay?
The stairs was
the
a
energy's
witch.
pulling us down to this level now at the moment. Yes, this is it.
How convenient that a camera was placed underneath the stairs to ominously film you descend the staircase. Oh, Derek, come on, girls, spook me.
Connection. It takes me back in the energy, and it's as if I've got like 1 floor, 2 floors. Ooh. It's like 2 leading up to 3 floors. And there's a connection with that room back there. What is it? The only way I can describe it is like, you know, when we talk about workhouses and what have you, and I've got a mixture of females, I've got the mixture of even children around here, and a lot of heartache, a lot of cruelty, a lot of cruelty.
Who's behind us?
Nobody.
I just heard...
Just say something there.
Oh, host. Oh yes, add the spooky swan music. Hello, I've got gout.
There's no one physically here.
I heard that. It was
Did you
like...
hear it?
What? It was like... It was like a kind of shuffle or somebody
A
moving
shuffle?
about back here.
Not a shuffle.
There are individuals, there are souls here that I know are listening in, but they're not.
What are they
or
listening
haven't
to, Derek?
As yet started to want to show us any activity. I'm sure that will come later, Ivy.
Where's Phil? Phil, is there anything come up on the EMF at all? Because we had really high readings before.
We had high readings earlier on, but there's none being picked up so
None
far.
here.
Completely flat. Completely dead.
You see, well, because sometimes they're going to, dependent on who we're dealing with in these individual spirits, their personality trait may be, hey, I'm not going to bother until I want to do it, you know? And then
I'm
all of
not a
sudden,
performing
boom,
monkey,
wham,
girls.
We'll get more activity than what we probably bargained with.
Oh, how convenient.
Since you've arrived.
Oh.
You always do this to me.
Oh, Yvette spook.
A set of underground vaults deep beneath Edinburgh was taking its toll on me. I was becoming more and more jumpy, which was affecting the crew, and I knew we all had a long, frightening night ahead of us.
Oh, how good. Oh my goodness. Spook the woman, and then I spook the woman. She's dead. Oh, okay, that was easy. Spook.
Already, Derek
The
had picked
moon.
up on some of the tragedies that had occurred many years ago.
Or was
And
told about
whatever
them.
ghostly presence was in the vaults with us had already started to make noises that were beginning to make the crew feel apprehensive.
Not noises.
Definitely, definitely a group of souls at some time or other in there. That could be
11 p.m.
that
Yes.
It could be also the energies. When I said, do you hear that?
I heard that.
Yeah.
I heard it as well, girls.
Down there, though, I believe.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah, but Richard, did you just make that noise?
No, that sounded like it.
And could you hear
Oh,
the noise at all?
Yvette!
Not traffic or anything.
How do we know it's not somebody standing out there going?
It could be because there's a pavement above you.
Yeah.
It's all on pavement. It did sound like it was above.
Did you
as
hear
opposed
it?
to below.
I thought it sounded like it was from next door.
I thought it was coming from
Right.
that direction. That's why I looked up
Yeah.
back towards Richard.
Oh, this is like hysteria, girls. We're watching hysteria.
Okay. Well, let's
She's
be
spooked.
pleased
Did you
in
hear
light of
it?
this because maybe they are now gonna, start to show us.
What is the
You'll be
matter
okay.
with me?
You'll be all right.
It's pathetic.
Oh, no, it is
I don't know
scary
why.
though.
All of a sudden I've gone really...
As I mentioned earlier, literally they are like underground in this stone room and there's like only a few of them and there's like, it's probably cold and dark and mysterious. So I can totally understand like Yvette's like, I'm a bit spooked, girls, because scary environments are scary. Even the most rational skeptic person ever, if you walk through a forest in a dark night and you can't see where you're going, it is spooky and scary. You do kind of get like, what if demons are real?
What if vampires are real? What if a bird might eat me, girls? The swan, girls!
Do you know what I mean? So,
Really jumpy.
oh, poor Yvette.
All the other places we've been to, and this one's completely freaking me out. Should we walk back up that way?
I wonder why.
Or not, Derek?
I'm more
Where are you wanting to go?
drawn to
That
go
way,
back
yeah.
down, yeah. Drawn
To
to
this direction, so shut up, Yvette.
I know it's annoying.
No, it's just.
I don't understand it. Did you hear that then? Did you hear? That was like a whisper.
I didn't hear
Did you hear it?
Oh, her
Did you hear
face.
I didn't hear that.
I heard it.
it? Yeah. But it was quite close. I thought, oh God, it was just on the stairs here.
On the stairs.
Yeah.
You seem well, we're concentrating, we go to walk away.
Was
again.
it? Hang on. I want to have a little look at this and just be like, is it Derek making that face? Let's have a little look.
But it was
No,
quite
it
close. I
wasn't.
thought, oh God. Yeah. But it was quite close. I thought, oh God, it was just on the stairs
Unfortunately, with the 4 pixels, I can't tell.
here.
On the stairs.
Yeah.
You seem well, we're concentrating, we go to walk away again, and we'll get something else.
Oh, Yvette. Time for a nice sit down. Yeah, nice sit down. Cup of water, nice sit down. Oh dear. Oh, the music. Oh, spooky
Okay,
pile of rocks.
Drawing me close this way. Over here. Oh, yeah. Right here. Happening here.
Wait, that was that whistly sound. Maybe that was their EMF meter being like, "Ooh," like earlier. So maybe that was just the noise that they were taking with her because she was like, oh, I heard it on the stairs. But right behind her was that guy carrying the EMF meter. So maybe it was like, "Beep," and she was like, oh my God, the whisper from the staircase. I told you that staircase was a witch.
In that corner, I get 2 energies that huddle into this corner here.
Oh,
2 of
what
them.
are they doing with each
And
other?
I can't make out yet whether
Susan.
these are elders, males, or whether they're children. But the energy level draws me to this corner here. And at
Well,
times,
sniff it out, Derek.
activity is like known to be here, without a doubt. It's the residual left from that energy that is still
maybe they had an
so
affair.
strong. And whilst I'm standing here, again, what's just happened, sometimes these sort of things happen with me. I feel as if all here to my jawline, chin, underneath my nose, is if I'm very heavy laden with facial hair and dark facial hair.
Ooh.
So I'm talking about a person...
Derek Akora's a sissy, girls.
who would have had beard, moustache. And very, very, very...
What was that?
pointed
Who
features. Now,
dreamed
do you hear
then?
that?
Please, God.
That was like a child or a...
No.
No, that was like a lion.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Oh, no.
No.
I heard a...
I heard a gargle.
Yeah, I definitely heard something. I'm not sure what it was. It sounded like a voice, but it could have been somebody's stomach rumbling.
Okay.
I heard something.
So Yvette heard that like gargly noise that I also heard, but now we're like interviewing all of the cameramen to be like, did you hear it, girl? What did you see? So let's see what they say.
Sounded like a gargle. Kids cry.
A child. Who are all these people?
Oh, garnered that.
Oh.
There's something seriously going on up there.
No, but you're under a road. That could be a bus.
Yes. Yes, Richard, yeah.
I'll come with you.
Someone or something was making banging noises above us. We knew Stuart, our
Bridal
rigger, was
plastic stab.
upstairs. Richard Felix went upstairs to find out if Stuart was responsible for making the loud bangs.
Stuart is up here. Well, I'll ask what he's been doing.
Were you moving stuff around a few moments ago, Stuart? Like heavy stuff?
No, I heard it.
They always say no.
It's as if there's a furniture remover up here.
All I've been doing was this cable along. But I could hear something earlier, literally when Carl went downstairs with the camera. I came up, I could hear something like furniture, like you described, moving on that side.
It's not a traffic noise. It's as if someone was moving a wardrobe or something.
It could have been a truck, a heavy truck, a moving
I
truck.
don't know if there's anything up there.
You're all right on your own up here?
I'm fine, yeah.
Right.
Oh.
I don't know why. It's a really freaky place.
Yeah, that's the point. I completely agree with you with that. I think your emotions are legitimate.
Stuart is upstairs, but Stuart is moving nothing. All that Stuart's got with him is a cable.
And
He's
gown.
just winding out the cable, and he heard the same noise that we
Not
did
the
down here,
coupliers.
upstairs to the left of where he was, and he said it was like furniture removals. And he's up there on his own.
Yeah.
Still.
Okay. Right.
Derek's loving it. He's like,
So
yeah, go on,
it is,
frighten her.
Very hopeful for what maybe they're going to try and display
Very
a little bit later on. The more the merrier for us, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Are you, John?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very hopeful. Yeah. Yeah.
I was already terrified and was not looking forward to what we might experience later. With all the lights out and only our night vision cameras to light the way, the tension mounted and nerves were beginning to fray as we began our night vision investigation at South Nidri Street Vaults.
I feel
at
that the
Yvette.
activity now, maybe they are going to display something that's going to be hopefully quite dramatic, because just in the atmosphere
Echo in
here
that
this
room.
ether, there seems to be, to me anyway, seems to be like a ready to just like unleash something on us.
Oh, God.
But not in such a bad. When I say unleash, I mean unleash something.
He's doing
that's
it on
gonna be quite
purpose,
dramatic.
torturing
Maybe
Yvette.
Not just in this area, as we're walking through the passageways.
I've got shivers all up the back. Oh, my back again. It's. Is somebody having a laugh?
Now there's 3 large bangs.
That was what I heard earlier on when I was...
Jeez.
3 large bangs, and they were on like.
Didn't they say they were underneath a bridge? So, like, if something really heavy goes across that bridge, let's just say, I don't know, several buses go at one time. Of course that bridge is going to be like, through the ground. So, of course, there's going to be this, like, rocking noise. But I can totally agree. Like, look at Yvette's face. She is in the dark, underground, hearing these mysterious noises. Of course you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm gonna die. Of course you are. I think that's quite spooky, isn't it? I feel like it's very easy for me to say this because, like, I do get scared in these sorts of situations, but my mind doesn't immediately go to the paranormal. My mind actually goes to like, oh my God, is there actually going to be someone in here that's going to be like, hello, Luxeria, I'm your biggest fan.
Time to eat you.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want it.
Slabs, weren't they?
Oh, Yvette.
Boom, boom.
Replay goes.
Maybe we just stay quiet a little while.
Oh, go on, put a jump scare in. Scare me,
It was
girls.
distinctly 3 loud bangs, wasn't it?
There's so much other physical noise in here. It could easily have been a noise from up on the street echoing through.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I've got to disagree. That was like 3 large bangs as if someone had like got a boulder or a big rock.
Yes.
Here and gone boom.
That's something like on slabs.
But it could have been several tyres going over a piece of road.
Yeah.
Near the traffic, clearly through there.
What's that there?
But did you hear that bang then? Like again, like on solid stone?
Yeah, remember, there's a load of rubble here, isn't there? Everywhere.
The thing is, when you like hit a solid stone, it doesn't like echo. It doesn't bang like if you were to hit metal. Metal has like a ricochet through it. Stone pretty much doesn't move. Like it's very brittle, so there's not that sort of like bang that you can hear. Maybe if you were to bang on like housing walls like this. there's like a slight ricochet, but if you hit like an actual stone slab, like all this wall is made of, you're never gonna hear that. Never gonna hear that. Never gonna hear that type of sound. I vote the road. I vote the road. Later we find a haunted bus. The bus was a witch.
It is. It's like rock form, something being shifted.
Shush, Derek.
Our crew was still quite rational, but how long would that last? We had a surprise in store for them, and it wasn't a pleasant one. Another set of vaults was waiting for us to investigate. Many ghost sightings had been seen here and had become famous for its terrifying atmosphere. It would be a first for Most Haunted, as we would all be entering virgin territory in complete darkness.
Don't say virgin.
With Derek and our night vision cameras, we made our way over to the other side of the bridge and into the Blair Street Vaults.
You get a very different
Tony
sense
Blair.
when you're in the
Very
different
haunting.
sets of vaults. When you're here in Edinburgh Street South, you know you're underneath the bridge because you can actually hear the traffic going over your head. You're not that far away from the real world out there. When you go into
Unless it's
Blair
a ghost
Street
bus.
Vaults, you go 3 levels below street level and you can't hear anything down
But how are
there
those
at
levels
all.
measured?
So it's a very, very different kind
How
of
big is a
atmosphere
level?
from one side to the other.
In the Blair Street Vaults, there is a particularly nasty soul known as Mr. Boots, seen wearing thigh-length boots, known as butcher boots.
Oh,
Often
she's
worn by
turning a
soldiers.
look.
But of course, he could be a cobbler, or of course, he could be a security guard.
A sissy.
He's been seen pushing people, standing, glaring at people, and actually recorded shouting, telling people to get out
My
of
goodness.
his vaults.
Wow.
I wouldn't spend the night in the
A
vaults.
territorial
no, in
pigeon.
fact, in Blair Street, I won't even go down there by myself to light the candles.
But the candles.
Now, I am very aware, although he's not shown himself, I am very,
Midnight
very aware of a man who comes right way through these passageways. And I want to describe him to you because I've got that mentally. I've got this
Let's frighten Yvette.
grey, white-haired, quite long-haired man.
With a thigh-high boot.
His face is so tight with unease that his unpleasant atmosphere is listening to us right now.
Hello. How are you
He wouldn't be
doing?
at all pleased for anyone to be around, never mind, you know, us together collectively. He's not happy. There's a little boy also. Little
What is it with
boy
him and
whose energies are
these little
coming
children
through that
everywhere?
aperture. Yes, that aperture. A moment ago, and all I saw was his face. You okay?
Oh my God!
Are you okay, Yvette? Oh, look.
There's the boy! There he is! He's gonna get you with it!
Like, there's very that, isn't it? Oh, poor Yvette. She's probably got, like, one nerve left.
Oh, something just touched both my arms.
It was Derek.
Like this, like kind of like
Oh.
The energies of
He wants
this
to borrow your
child,
thigh highs.
Would probably do that to try and draw attention to you. And it's here that in this energy, the little boy runs from this all along. Because I feel that the little boy lost his life.
Look at her face.
Jesus Christ,
His energies. So I get this feeling of the boy running from rude to...
Derek, be quiet a second. I just need to process, because that was actually a little bit scary when they were like, oh, there's a man! And there actually was a man, and he was like, sorry, everybody, sorry.
the room, looking away in memory. of this
He's laughing at
old,
Yvette, the cameraman.
horrible sort of attitude. of a
Horrible
man.
little boy.
I'm very aware as well of men.
Men?
A group of them, 4 or 5 of them.
What are they doing? What are the men doing?
The only way I can describe it, like monks.
Oh, monks.
But there's 2 of them that are absolutely crazy.
You frightened Yvette.
Who did despicable things down here.
Oh, no.
Oh, God! Can we
He's gonna
just go
punch
into the
her.
energy, Evie?
Yeah.
Because I feel it wants us to come through here.
Something grabbed my arms.
What's happening?
Grabbed my arms.
2 of them come scurrying through, and they're looking for people, and it's 2 of them. And it's as if they're laughing, and they're just picking people up. They're picking them up and just wrapping them up like this, and just pulling them like, and just folding them as if they're just like pieces of meat, and taking them out. take them out of here and laughing and counting the numbers. What they're gonna get, what they're gonna get. What were they doing, Sam? What were they? They were dragging them through. They were dragging them through, these animals. They were dragging them through to take them. Where were they taking them?
To the surgeon, girl! The sissy surgeon! The doctor! Well, you absolutely can't say he's not completely entertaining, is he?
There's more. They're not even dead.
Dr. Birkenhair, the infamous body snatchers, girl.
To make sure they were dead. Took them away. Oh, the stench and the slaughter. What's that, Sam? What's that sound?
Gout?
There's someone screaming out here.
It's a scandal, girl.
He's shouted down these tunnels. He's telling anyone and everyone not to come here, to get out of here, otherwise he'll do them harm. I've got to take them.
Whomst?
The only way I can describe it is people must have lived here, stayed down here, in a form of like subterranean type living quarters.
Well, we know this, though. We know this, Like, are we led to believe that, like, Derek Okora is equally, like, very unintelligent and doesn't know anything about the areas that he's going to, but also completely enlightened to the fact that he can also, like, see things from beyond the dimension, girl? Is that like, the thing that we're trying to, like, they're trying to, like, put on us is, like, Derek has never read about this area, even though he's actually a spiritualist medium whose, like, life is around this. He probably knows every single ghost in the country, and we're meant to believe that he's never heard of this place, never seen this place, never spoken to anyone about this place, but automatically as soon as he goes here, he's like, I know where I'm going, blah, blah, blah. Like, is that what we're meant to believe? I struggle. I do struggle. Skepticism, ladies. Skepticism, ladies!
But there was evil.
Evil? Was it a daytime
seems to be in control.
Trini and Susanna?
And it's still very evident now.
Guys. It's a lot of water dripping.
What's that? Oh, no. Not water. Terrifying, girls.
Carl, our director, had heard a strange noise coming from the next room. The rest of us went to join him.
Great. Terrifying. Let's all go.
Like a boulder being pushed.
It was a definite sort of dragging, pushing noise.
Now, I don't think that that's down to those covered up monk figure type. This is this old man whose nastiness prevailed down here.
Dear.
Yeah?
I'm famous and frightened. Oh! What a hateful jacket. Oh no, Yvette's gonna vomit, girls. Oh. Not in the vault, girl.
Yvette? All right.
Are you sick?
I feel
You're
very
right.
sick.
Can I watch you? Yeah. Film you.
I feel like that.
Is she okay?
What?
Oh, is mummy okay? Like, he doesn't care. He's thriving. He's like, oh yeah, go on, be sick. And I can be like, the demons, girl, the demons made you sick. It was actually just that suspicious Greg's pasty from earlier.
So Derek had picked up on two characters that murdered people for doctors to experiment on their bodies.
Oh, how convenient.
Burke and Hare, the infamous body snatchers, did murder, mutilate and snatch bodies from the vaults.
So if they're infamous, wouldn't he have heard about them?
These were the people that Derek was talking about. I had definitely felt my arms being pulled, and we did hear thumps above us. This place was terrifying, and I honestly couldn't wait for this investigation to be over.
Oh, spooky lady, she's got gout. Spooky lady, and she's got the gout. End of part 2. Part 3. Oh, spooky girls!
Things were becoming uncomfortable as certain members of the crew, including myself, were beginning to feel unwell. Derek was being very guarded and tried to reassure us as to why we were feeling sick.
The demons.
I feel really sick.
You feel sick as well?
I feel really sick, like I want to vomit.
Yeah, I was feeling like that.
To me, it stands to reason that all you guys, at some time or other whilst we're down here, are going to feel these conditions of the residual energy, plus their activities as they're going through. They're leaving it in this ether, and it's going to hit you.
The ether,
and it can come in many ways.
What is this smell?
What does that even mean?
This can be a mixture of a lot of things. This is a bad area.
The audio has changed.
Absolutely, not just cleansed, but blessed. and cleanse because the stench will stay forever.
Can anybody else smell it?
It'll do it. Yeah.
What does it smell like to you?
Oh.
To me, it smells like plasticine, sort of smelly.
Plasticine from 1820?
Yeah, it's not too far off in the frames.
What's that?
Like that, twice.
What was it?
Bang, bang. Up there.
Either someone's pranking them or it is the road, surely.
Yes. That's that.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Get out!
And also he runs after the little boy. And he's got, his shoes are made for running. His shoes are made for running.
I have noticed that Derek likes to, when things aren't like as scary as they can be, I feel like Derek is always like,
and then there's a child.
Just kind of like pull you in and be like, oh, goodness, not a child. Do you know what I mean? But also, if he's like, his shoes were made for running, did children back in like the 1800s wear shoes, especially if they were from like this underground, like, cavern-dwelling people? I don't know, like, how to describe them. Would they have even really had shoes? Like, shoes were expensive. Maybe they would have. Oh, I don't know. I'm a little bit like, really? Look at all these dead children in the vaults.
Here that belong to him.
There are
shoes.
some shoes.
A pair of child shoes were unearthed in 1980.
Upstairs that they found here.
Not
from
shoes.
Little boy, little tiny shoes.
How do you know they were boys' shoes? I'm sure they didn't have gendered shoes the same way that we do
Come
now.
and show yourself, you old tyrant. You
I was going to say
beggar.
tart. Come out, you old tart.
Let's see how brave you are.
In your thigh highs.
I can hear him, bro.
What's he saying?
I can't understand him. What's that? He's screaming at us to get out in Gaelic. In Gaelic.
Can you speak Gaelic?
Is that him? Step him back.
Anyone else just hear that?
Yeah.
Is that any G's above us?
There was 1, 2,
3.
Is that any G's above
Sound like
us?
footsteps.
yeah.
Oh, that is kind of scary. Pizza pats, Go.
Don't split up.
Don't leave, Yvette! Oh, Derek's gone to sleep. How haunting time for bed. Oh, hello. Time for bacon! Oh. Caress the banister? Oh, Amanda Byram, your transition worked out well. She's become Derek Akora. I feel like my spine's gonna fall out. I'm like,
I don't want him in.
no?
It's too much for me, that. I can't take that. I can't take it. I'm not letting him in. It's not nice.
We've just been down there.
Yeah.
For the night. There was a noise came from further back there. And we both heard. Will you tell me what you heard? I said to you, is that voices? Yeah, and I said yeah, and it sounded like kids groan. Like a
How horrible. Ugh.
Something just brushed my face. It was a hand. I'm sorry, get in there.
Oh, God. Come here, boys. Come here, lads.
I was standing there, and a hand, and it was freezing cold, but you could feel the fingers in the palm, and it was like that.
Oh. Touched by an angel.
Oh, my. Right, there was 2 of them here, okay? Showing themselves, 2 hooded men, okay? Right here together, standing side by side. Just here.
Did you try and listen out for those voices? Because I heard them.
Yes.
Oh, she's getting brave.
You didn't touch my head at all?
No, it wasn't me. Did you just flick my hip, though?
What, Craig?
Did somebody touch my hip?
In the past, when we've been to different locations, different sites, where certain members of the team, okay, yourself included, Carl, been scratched, okay?
Oh my goodness.
These conditions will prevail with this like activity down here.
Oh. Prepare to get
it could be
scratched.
any parts of the body.
What have you seen?
I don't know. In that far corner where I'm going. It seemed like something was crossing it.
Oh no, a squirrel. Oh, hateful, look at that. Oh, absolutely not.
They are moving about here.
Oh.
Okay, did you touch my head?
No.
I gave it a gentle caress. Oh, this man's getting all the attention.
He's not touching the head.
They really like him. It was me. Hiya. Cook out.
No.
Demons. Satan.
Did anybody hear up there?
Let's go back.
If it's staying down there, I'll be able to go back up.
No, we'll go.
Oh!
On our way out, we had to see if there was anyone on the upper floor that had been walking around. All that we found was an empty room that was under construction. We didn't hear any more footsteps.
Under construction?
So whatever it was.
So you mean that there might have been people doing construction in that room, perhaps? Oh! Maybe not at the time that you were there, though. I don't know. What time was the last time that we looked? It was like 1 a.m.
A few of us did hear strange shuffling noises in Blair Street. During the early hours of the morning, the crew did split up into smaller groups.
It was Tony Blair. Who's this woman?
Did you think you heard a shuffling sound at all? Yeah, so did I back there.
Oh.
Apart from that, nothing paranormal was caught on camera. Only fear.
I think it happens, you'll catch it.
You should have a little
If
kick.
it happens anything around you, you'll catch it. I know.
It's like I'm too
It's quite
scared
scary.
to take a step forward.
It's very like found footage horror film, isn't it?
If you get really
The
bad,
Blair
shout.
Witch Girls! The Blair
And I'll do
Witch.
this.
Our evidence is mainly unexplained noises that mystified and unnerved us all.
Oh.
If you were to ask any member of the most haunted crew to go back to the vaults, every one of them would refuse.
Tony Blair was a witch.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
24 hours underground was enough for the crew, and we all were pleased when we could leave.
Oh.
We had all experienced something, whether it was noises or being touched.
No,
I
I don't
that
think.
speaks for itself.
Well, not really, sis. Oh, is that the end? No, surely. A gaping orifice. Oh, there's the stair witch.
When I
There
first
she
came
is.
to the vaults, one of the major things I noticed was the fact that it was so spooky. And
Very
that's just
fitting for most
with
haunted.
the lights on.
Oh.
These vaults
You frightening
have
Yvette.
never really been investigated.
I mean,
Like
you,
we've done it in the last 24 hours.
well, there is like
I think
full-on
there's
lighting
a
down
phenomenal
there.
amount of residual energy, which Derek's picked up.
Derek,
I expected to be more frightened than I was.
there's a web.
And I wasn't.
I've found that the Edinburgh Vaults
I expected to be doing this, but I didn't.
have both been revealing with the residual energy and also a certain amount of negative activity.
Overall, a fantastic investigation and one that was definitely worthwhile doing.
Oh, a barrel.
Throughout the investigation, the team are reporting
Oh,
a number
hello.
of unusual noises, bangings, shufflings, sometimes even they seem to report hearing voices. In the Nidri Street vaults, those vaults are actually not that far beneath the surface of where the road would be. Meanwhile, in the Blair Street vaults, they're actually much, much deeper underground. So any of the noises being heard there are extremely unlikely to be sounds coming from the surface.
Ooh.
So it could well be somebody causing a noise in one of the other locations underneath the ground. The very unusual acoustics in the vaults are actually making it sound as though it's coming from some distance away.
Yes, of course, echo.
Oh my god!
Are you okay?
Something just touched both
Frighten
my
you!
arms.
One of the events I actually find
Wanted
most
to get his hands
impressive
on
in this
that lovely
investigation
jacket.
is Yvette being touched. And in fact, a number of the members of the team do report that they're actually being touched. Yvette reports getting pulled back at some stage.
Stop it! Oh, there's the witch staircase. Oh, hello.
Well, what a night to
She's
remember. I
better.
was certainly very nervous, and other members of our crew were as well. I don't think we'll ever forget our 24-hour stay in the Edinburgh Vaults. So
Oh!
until the next time,
A
sleep
witch.
tight.
Oh, spooky ladies. Well, my loves, wasn't that really spooky? All right, my loves, I'm going to push away my laptop there and take out my ohrhanger. Oh, that was really spooky and actually quite good. So I don't remember ever seeing that episode before, but I can see why it's really highly rated, like one of the most watched episodes ever. Yvette was like fully like, what's gonna happen? I'm gonna die. And I must admit, when you like watch someone going through that fear, like fear and anxiety, you do kind of almost feel a bit like spooked fear and anxiety as well. I've got massive lights on right now. If I was in the dark, in the quiet, watching that, I would be like fully like, what's gonna happen, girls? Even though I'm a skeptic. And I think what that Dr. Philip man was mentioning is that like when you are in an environment, exactly what I said earlier, when you're in a heightened sort of state of like, I'm in danger, girls, then you do automatically start to see things at the corner of your eyes. You start to maybe feel things happening to you. Maybe you have a little bit of a hallucinate, or you feel a bit sick from all the like hormones going wild in your body. So I totally understand. But do I think the Edinburgh Vaults is haunted? I mean, it would make a great story, wouldn't it? And it also must do amazing things for the local tourism. So, what do you think? Do you think the Edinburgh Vaults are haunted? I'm going to leave it to you, my spooky lovely spook the woman. Well, my loves, it's time for the Patreon. And you can see yourself scrolling past on the spooky screen here. Yes, you can, my lovelies. Yes, you can. And today's super spooky Twitch shout out goes to Leapfroggy. Thank you so much for following me over on Twitch, you stunning woman on the go. And if you want to be a part of my next video's Twitch shout out, make sure you follow me on Twitch. I stream currently 2 nights a week, and that's Monday and Thursday. Yes. And of course, I want to say a massive thank you to my top tier Patreons: Kelly Loom, Erwin Fox, Stephanie Neartupski, Steffutech, Casey Donahue, Traverful, Ryan Vita, Elizabeth Stone, Celine Yates, Lane Wade, Caitlin Coating, Min TM, Caitlin Wright, Jenny Hendricks, Abigail Ash, Crafty Leaks, Moriah Sherman, ContraPoints, Victoria Waldock, Succubus Lena, Shell Herman, Jodia, Jara Pavlovsky, Jevod, Orkos Emoji, Moldy Apple, Victoria Corella, Megan Holly, Dana Broderick, Moisten98, and Zaya Nazar. Thank you so much for continuing your support, my lovelies. We are thriving this spooky season. Are you ready for more spook? And you know what? I'm going to leave it on the note of, my loves, sometimes your senses can lie to you. Seeing is not always believing. Ooh. I'll see you in the next video. Oh, bye, everybody.